Welcome to another episode of Brothers, Battles, and Bounty, where family, business, and future success converge. We're your hosts. I'm Andreas.
I'm Martin.
I'm Anton.
I'm Stefan.
And we're here to talk about what we consider a rather important factor to the success of the organization that's historically been prevalent. And it's what you know, not who you know. Nah, wrong. Okay, try to inject humor. It doesn't always work. Regardless, this one episode, it was. Thank
I liked
you.
it. I liked it.
That.
I know. I just, little.
right.
Fact of the matter is, what we want to talk about was the critical aspect of networking and having a strong network. So, reiterating my attempt at humor first, it's really about who we know and what we know that we wanted to address in this particular episode. So, that being said, anybody have any network concepts, ideas, input, thoughts that come to mind?
When you take a look at, some of the relationships we have in our business with professionals, the benefits of that it's not always transactional benefits, which are important, because you never know whether you have a good relationship or not until you run into problems.
Yeah.
That's when you truly know who has your back and who doesn't. Because when things are good and money's flowing, everybody's your friend and, oh, you're the best and, oh, yeah, your company's the best. But as soon as you run into a little bit of hard times where, hey, you know what, I got to pay this invoice in 60 days instead of 45, that's when, you find out how good your relationships
That's
are.
a great point. Is there any particular examples you can think of that were representative of that kind of?
Yeah, in the vendor side, we've, as mentioned in previous podcasts, that, steel consumption is a large commodity in our costs that we procure. And we've been getting supplied from a vendor, Lexington Steel, that's been supplying us since the early 80s.
Yeah.
And, they've always been competitive. They've not always
40
been the
years.
cheapest. They've been very competitive. But, man, they are there for us when we need them. When the steel shortage happened, they made sure they took care of us.
That's
it
a
was
great
rough.
example.
They
Through
helped us
thick and
find
thin.
steel when they couldn't supply it. And
The interesting thing with an example like that is steel has a tendency of being opportunistic, like a lot of companies, for-profit driven. And when the inflation happens, they could clearly make a lot of money on the open market liquidating their inventory at these high prices. So having a relationship where they still support you and take care
or
of you.
they honor contracts.
Right,
We have
yeah.
contracts with our main suppliers. It's easy for them to just say, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I can get much more for this commodity than what I'm selling you on this contract.
Yeah,
Sorry, we're not doing it. No.
Our perspective and the way we work on it, we look at this way beyond a commodity. And I think some of the problems that some companies have is looking at it, just strictly looking at these items as a commodity. I know many, many years ago, we looked at it as a commodity until we realized how important it was to build a relationship through the good times, bad times. And we've taken those skill sets and we bring them right to our customers too. We operate in the same way. We don't want them to look at us as a commodity supplier. We're there with them, thick and thin. And that was
They could have
big.
easily put us out of business when the steel shortage happened.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Because right away, you can't get steel. You start calling other vendors, and they're like, haha, now we got our customers. We have to take care of our current. You've never bought from us before, and
Yeah.
and we had that with our bank too.
Yeah,
same thing.
when crap hit the fan during the financial crisis, They stuck by us. They
Yep.
we struggled a little bit through that, and they stuck with us because we had a good long-term relationship with them.
Yes.
You know, and it's across the board. You know, you take a look at a business, and you've got several areas that depending on what markets you're serving and you need to have certain professionals available and that are there that are going to take care of you.
So I hear like having a core network of the essentials is important.
Yes.
You were going to say,
Yeah, I'm going to change it up a little bit and looking at relationships with customers. Being VP of sales and marketing, it's the uniqueness of building relationships is so important, so critical. And one of the things that I've been exposed to is finding customers that have more of a future vision. Do they see you as part of their future? People we've been doing business with for 20, 30, 40 years, they're part of our base. But to continually replenish that base, you have to find people that see you as part of their future. And it's an interesting concept to ask people, where do you see us 3 years from now? You know what I mean? And that question helps me to identify, are we part of their future or not?
Right.
And if they don't answer it, okay, that's one answer. If they don't see us as part of their future, that's another answer. If they do see us part, the third, which is what you're striving for, those are the ones that you can build and grow with. But if you don't ask that question,
well, you can grow with all of them. You just know where you stand.
Well, it's hard to grow when someone doesn't see you as part of their future.
They might not be
anyway,
looking.
I don't mean
they might not
to correct
be
you in
looking that
public,
far.
but
You want a fresh one?
Yeah. They might not be looking that far out. And, it's an interesting thing, to even help our customers, vendors and stuff to kind of, as you build this partnership, you're helping them. And you've done a great job with that in bringing this to a lot of our customers.
what did you say?
What did I say? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
No, where you have brought a lot of this to our customers to build this perspective and help build a strong base of customers that are committed to us and we're committed to them. And that doesn't happen. You've got it, like you are talking about, you've got to go out there and you got to reach out there and help them and help educate them in this thing and bring that perspective to them.
And the unique thing with customers is that it really depends on, who are you dealing with at the customer?
Oh, yeah.
Is it a family-owned business? Is it a private? Is it a corporate-owned business, meaning that it's not family-owned, that you have a president that's not family? Because a lot of times you're dealing just with the purchasing person, which could be there, could be there for 10 years or could be there for 1 year. And we all know when purchasing managers change, a lot changes with the customers when it's a non-family business that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So just synergizing the context of the importance of customers, suppliers, and the networking and who and what, it's like being relationship focused kind of is elevating this connection to a higher level.
Yeah.
We're looking at the significance of the future. We're looking at the significance of when the hard times happen. We're looking at it from, are they looking at it short-term, long-term? And, the bottom line is ultimately people are what makes everything happen. And the profit motive of, getting the best price, best service, best quality, that's kind of the initial connection. But once you start living in that and building a reputation for being able to navigate these relationship waters amicably through the history, it takes time to develop these relationships. And once you have them, they're a precious commodity.
We've spent a tremendous amount of time identifying our decision-making unit, the marketing term of who actually makes the decisions to buy our product. You talk about purchasing and family and corporate and our brand. Who are we? What do we do? How do we message? But the decision-making unit and having relationships with someone within the group. You can't have a relationship with, 5 people in a decision-making unit, but one who influences the other is always critical. And ones that see you as the solution to what the problem or
That's
obstacles
key.
they're trying to resolve.
And just adding the challenge of that, the immense challenge, the overwhelming challenge, we get the point, is our relationship is based on either selling a customer and growing business, providing them with the goods that we have, or buying a material. The significance it plays in their business, we are only 1/1000th of the elements that they're dealing with. So the
Right.
relationship is, we're not the only thing in their world. They don't think about chairs, bar stools, swivels, but when they do, the idea is we want them to think about Trendler. We
Yeah.
want them to think, and it's in those developmental relationships where you have more than a business transaction, whether you're, focusing on life balance via golfing with customers or suppliers, or going fishing, or whatever the hobbies may be, taking the time to build those memories. That is precious time, because a lot of people don't have the time to do that extra because of family and all the other commitments. But if you can start developing that kind of development, that's a whole nother level. That's
And it all starts, you just triggered a thought. It all starts with the quality of the questions we ask them. Because we have to ask them, what do they need? When do they need it? Why do they need it?
right.
As opposed to, well, I have this and I have that and I can do this and I can do that.
Yeah.
It may apply, it may not apply. And, we're all trained to do certain things, but they don't always resonate with the people we're
and
talking
being
to.
able to provide them with answers to the problems that they're faced with.
Yeah.
Just take a look at some of our key, vendors, like our accounting.
Mhm.
Hey, when they come up with the questions to us,
Yeah.
hey, are you guys doing this? This could, really benefit. Oh, wow, we never really thought about that. And wow, the company we were dealing with before never brought this up. Why are you asking? Oh, well, because you can save this, the return on your investments and all. It's like, that's the stuff
Yeah.
that customers.
The feedback that you guys
want.
bring back from the customers is what makes us a better company, by us responding to that, taking, hey, we need that. Why would they need it? Like, hey, we got to adjust ourselves. That's what they're telling us.
Yep.
They need it here and there, And so we've gone through so many changes to be able to supply that to what our customers
Yeah,
need through the questioning.
As you're
and that.
mentioning that, I was thinking some of the network contacts that you've brought to the table through your network, like the
All of us,
professional.
yeah.
Well, all of us, clearly, we could come up with great examples. I
Unbelievable.
was thinking of several that you specifically had contributed through, the business council, like, our accountants right now are just,
Oh.
they were referred based
Craig
on somebody
Kaiser.
you knew. You had somebody that had a great experience with them. You asked around. They've helped us
Their
transform.
experience, yeah.
And
Taking
so that network connection, in addition to
best,
other,
best
best in
practice,
class.
best in class,
Yeah.
and hearing the experiences of others. We've gotten a lot of our various different service providers in that way, and hunting
Through
out
word of
what do
mouth,
we
the
need,
network.
and identifying really what do we need from a service provider. How do we do this in order to serve our customers better? What do we have? We have to surround ourselves with the best of the best professionals who are right there on the leading edge of the various different things that are out
Well
there.
put.
And
well
we
put.
and we've had experiences with the worst of the worst.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Well, that's the way you
Almost
appreciate
too
the
many.
best of the best.
Yeah,
You have
almost
to
too
know.
much experience.
So interesting perspective. You
Yeah.
mentioned decision-making units and target,
Yep.
and we kind of developing network. We are decision-making units
Yep.
for the network that we reach out to, like the professionals, and we make it clear what it is we want. So, I mean,
So
You're
we, what thought you triggered, Anton, and you, Andreas, right now is, as 4 brothers with different disciplines and different networks of people, we've expanded our ability to tap into networks of people. one of the questions I had for you, and I know you're very knowledgeable on this subject, what is the normal, if you could share with us, what is the normal amount of people for a human being to have interactions and in their network of influence?
Ooh, that's good. That's a good one. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Let me paraphrase. What you're asking is, from a effective communication network development perspective,
Yep.
how many individuals can a individual truly develop a
Correct.
quality network? So I right away defer to a statistic that is an oldie but a goodie, which is in management. How many people can an effective leader manage?
Mhm.
And the number, anybody want to guess what the number is? What do you got?
I got 5.
Ooh, very good.
5, 10, maybe.
5, 10.
7.
7. Ooh, the number 7. Historically, it was. So between 5, 10, 7, if you have 5, you get more effective. 7 is good. And that's presuming you're working on that. So the segue, and this is more for us to now extrapolate from that foundation, is from the old school. Now with technology, I'd say the
Expand
number's
that.
probably at least tripled.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just my extrapolating. And so in my world, I'm constantly working on trying to develop new network relations. And it's extremely difficult. They don't know you from Adam. Your history, your experience, your past positions are nothing. And whenever when I've experienced developing a network, it's always they're trying to sell something. There's something in for them where they're coming to me with the intention of adding value to their world. And a lot of times I'm like, okay, I got to get creative. How am I going to do this? And in the course of doing it, I probably right now have, I would say, 5 new network relationships that I'm developing that are literally in their infancy, but certain ones that, and again, I'm going to reiterate something you said, that are future focused. They want to grow their business to X amount, or they're the ones that I'm able to accelerate the development of the relationship more significant than ones that, oh, nice to meet you. Hey, so where do you see yourself 3 years from now? And they're like, things are pretty good right now. And, I like the golf and I like, okay, cool. So what's your guys' experience been on, from
you
7
you take a look at the only examples that I can share is, you take a look at social media, okay, and I hear a lot of people that are like, oh, I've got, on Facebook, I've got, 1,000 friends. It's like, okay, nobody has 1,000 friends. Okay, how many of those 1,000 people do you actually communicate on a daily basis with? Same thing with LinkedIn. Oh, I've got 700 connections. Okay, well, out of that 700, how many of those are you communicating with on a daily basis?
Have you
And
talked to in the last week?
that
Yeah.
out of 750, they don't talk to anybody on a regular basis. And so it seems like everybody wants to have this large amount of followers or connections,
Right.
because then that makes them like, hey, this is my network. No, it's not your network. And I think it's a false
That's a good point.
comfort that people are like, oh, I need more. So anytime somebody sends a friend request, yes, or, and like LinkedIn, I try to identify individuals that have a similarity to our company, either a potential customer, potential vendor, or just somebody that has common ground, as opposed to just going through the page and just saying, send a friend, send a request, send a request, send a request.
LinkedIn's an interesting phenomenon, and from the standpoint of it was originally designed as a human resource, kind of a recruiting tool. HR was using it to kind of talk about individuals, and now it's evolving.
Yeah.
But that's a great point
Our
regarding the
new hire
network.
came from LinkedIn.
Yeah, love. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
What
cool.
was that?
Our new hire, Frank.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Came from
Oh,
LinkedIn.
that's
Yeah.
wonderful. So
Nice.
regarding the
Hey.
network and the quality network, it's important. It's the future. How do you, like I'm right now working with a gentleman, I'm not going to mention any names at this point, but has linked with the same industries that we're targeting, has a new product that they develop. I can't share it because it's still proprietary. A new product that's going to kind of transform the restaurant industry from a microcosm of what they do.
Mhm.
And as a result of this product, they've gotten into every one of the markets that
Wow.
we're looking to get into. So I clearly see the benefit of this network relation. And this individual is now inquiring on connections and leads too. And I find this kind of fascinating for me. I'm always like, okay, what can this person do for me? I have that falls into my mind. But then I'm thinking, well, if I help them out a lot, are they going to forget about me and just go off and, be super successful from the connections I made? I've had this mindset dilemma for a while. Can anybody relate to that kind of at all?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I find myself trying to develop a new way of looking at it, because I'm like, well, by investing in someone's future, by helping them, it'll come back to me. Is kind of the conclusion I came
that brings up a thing. We're talking about business relationships. Customers. We have a number of people we build relationships as customers, vendors, service providers. Then we extend that out, even in our personal lives. How do we choose the people that we go out, to things that we love to do, golfing, hunting, fishing, motorcycling, those are some inner groups, and there's some selection that goes on with that.
Yeah.
And then you have the same thing with family. How do you surround yourself with, different
with the right network of family.
With family, you don't have a choice. Okay, family,
you
you should
do,
do. You do, but all I'm saying is they're your family. But you choose, friends and different people that are of like-minded, and what values do you hold to them? And what is their, what you want to do with your life going forward? How do you help them? How do they support
That's
you?
a fascinating perspective.
And so it's even beyond that, because it becomes a real holistic thing. And then you take a look at all the various different things in our personal life, people that can help us. You got people, hey, well, good electrician, good this and that, and you tap into them,
Right.
and then you help them with a skill set that you might have,
Right.
and go on. So there's all kinds of value connections that you have beyond even business.
Yeah.
So,
And, talking about, good networking, having good support networks, one of the things that I've always realized is that a true connection is somebody that you can call and is going to answer their phone with you,
that's a connection.
regardless
That is
of
a good
the
relationship.
whether it's in the morning, afternoon, or night.
So would that make you a bad network connection for like? 'cause
Well, I
when
just
I
don't
call
answer
you,
your phone. I
right?
see it's you. It's like, forget that.
Good point. Good point.
Because there's certain to me that's a true connection.
Yeah.
That somebody, if they don't answer their phone, they'll call you back right away.
Yeah.
I have vendors, I have customers that, reach out regardless. And I'm just thinking about it now, and it's like, hey, I must be part of their network, of their looking for, they'll call me, hey, I'm thinking of buying this building, and what do you think? It's closer. And I'm like, okay, wow, person's reaching out asking me.
That's quality.
Well,
That's
yeah.
quality.
That's a
But
connection.
they know you. They know they can connect with you. They know that.
And I
you're
know
gonna
I have
give them
vendors
the
that
time.
and customers that I can call and ask questions to.
You're
And those
gonna
are,
give
those I
them the
believe are
attention.
true
It's a
connections,
great
not how
example,
many
yeah.
you have on your page.
So what you kind of triggered is we're talking about relationships with vendors and with customers, but then you have outside that circle your personal family. Let's
Family,
just not say
yeah.
family, but your friends. Okay,
Friends,
your
and
network
connections.
of influence there. So we all have those different circles, and the impact that it has on the quality of your life, can be significant. And
That's an understatement.
as you
Yeah.
open up your circles, you get exposed to everything. the good, the health, the sickness, the suffering, the happiness. You get exposed to humanity, and it really, as we age.
What I realize with that is the older I get, the smaller my circle gets.
Yeah.
Well, that's because they're all passing away at your age. Come on.
No, it's more of, hey, I don't have time to listen to this. Just the drama and just.
There's a lot of drama out there.
Yeah.
So not to make this a significant part of what we're talking about, but bad network connections. Does anyone have any experiences there?
Yes.
Yeah. I've had some to where I felt obligated to keep them. Oh, this is not nice to.
Yep.
At this point, to your point, I'm like, man, you start the poison, it's done. Boom.
Bad, we're talking about good, bad. That's
what I'm trying to say, because it drains your energy.
Yeah.
Right.
It can
it actually can ruin your life. I mean, the one I'm thinking of, and it just literally it caused such a
dissonance.
shockwave of dissonance through my life.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to be nice by keeping to the point where, I mean, quality.
What's the lesson
It's got to
learned
work
there?
both ways. It's got to work
That's a great
both
question.
ways.
That's a great question.
And,
It's not even with personal friends. It could be customers,
Customers,
vendors.
whatever.
A
Yes.
bad network vendor and a bad
Sure.
network customer can be
So
devastating.
what's the lesson? That's a great question, Stefan.
That is the question. I'm
I
asking. Anybody want?
I would say that fire quickly, hire slowly.
Nice.
You build up your relationship slowly. It's built over time and value. And if you run into something toxic, it's like anything else. You run from it.
Disengage
Get away.
quickly.
The sooner you disengage, the more energy you have for those that need your energy.
I don't think any more can
that's
be added. That's a great nugget
That's
of
pretty awesome.
lesson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any other thoughts network wise, wisdom?
Make sure what we've learned is make sure you're dealing with the best of the best, not the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Not even mediocre.
Yeah.
You want the best of the best.
For me, just being immersed in the business side, the marketing, the sales, focusing on, companies and ones that you want to do business with, you realize it's not the companies you're doing business with, it's the people. And try and identify those decision-making units within the company to reach out and have processes and procedures to influence them and to have an impact on them. And
that's very insightful.
It's because we're selling to people and we're serving people.
One person can determine
a lot
in a company.
Yes.
Your first interaction, company could be the best in the world, and your first interaction with one person at that company can make you feel like, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm not dealing with that.
As simple as a receptionist or a blocker.
The part that I forgot to add in is if you do have something toxic or whatever, what I do is I always look at myself. Have I caused something to implement this or this person or this team to be in this toxic situation? But once I've gotten that filtered out, then you got to move
You're still
quickly.
working on that?
I am. I work on that every day.
This might be a little too deep, but has there been any scenarios where you did realize you were the source?
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's
through my
that's
life.
emotional intelligence.
Through my
That's
life.
cool. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Well, for me, the input on the networking is to keep growing the network. The difficulty of finding the best of the best and then creating your own skill sets to where you're viewed as value is that's so my input is just keep growing your network, and because it causes you to grow as a result.
And I'm excited about bringing some of our best of the best networks
people
to our podcast. Look forward to it as well,
because I think that's pretty powerful. It's great.
Yep. That's an awesome segue. So that being said, any one little closing nuggets? We kind of seem like we've encapsulated.
Just deal with the best of the best. Don't waste your time on
Excellent.
anything less.
Well, that being said, that concludes another episode of Brothers Battles in Bounty, where your family, business, and future success converge. So please continue to listen, give us comments, input. We're here to respond to you. We are very grateful, all of us, for the time you've taken just listening to us. It means the world. And that being said, what other things do we want to mention?
Any topics that you'd like us to address in the future, let us know. We'd love to share what we know about that topic. If we do, if not, we'll find some answers for you.
Love it.
Subscribe to YouTube. Let's get to 1,000.
Yes. Awesome.
Got it.
Thank you. Till next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.